I started sailing at age 12 at a YMCA summer camp which was on a sheltered tidal pond. They had 10-foot-long mirror dinghies, and learning to sail was one of the camp's activities. I still remember being in that boat with an instructor and a good friend, who is still my good friend almost a half-century later, and just absolutely falling in love with the feeling of the wind pushing us along. I already loved the freedom my bicycle gave me, no dependence on an engine or some adult to drive me somewhere. The sailboat gave me that same feeling of freedom. That began my lifelong love affair with saltwater and the things you can do on it. A couple of years later, my dad bought me a used Sunfish and I began racing it with adults. I raced every Sunday for 15 years, for many years coming in at the bottom of the fleet. I wasn't very good. My mind tends to wander in the middle of a race, but in retrospect, that first boat might have been a tad heavy. I bought a new one in later years and had better results. I got a hankering for a cruising boat and got a 27-footer when I was 29. I had a good time with that boat, a lot of single-handed day sailing, and a few overnight cruises with company. I caught the cruising bug and realized I needed a bit more experience. I asked around and was able to crew on a few deliveries. I realized long passages are not my favorite thing, but island hopping sounded pretty good. The company I was working for got bought out, and I took the opportunity to get a bigger boat and go cruising full-time for 2 years in the 1990s. After that, I had to go back and make money, but cruising again was always in the back of my mind. I've always liked to know how mechanical things work. Racing sailors tend to be more concerned with sail trim than functioning heads, but cruising sailors need to know the mechanical end of the boat. In 2011, I decided to do something very different career-wise and went to Marine Systems Trade School in Rhode Island. I had years of experience working on my boats, but this was a chance to learn how to do things in a professional way. I now teach 1 or 2 weekend classes each year to women to show boaters good methods to use when maintaining their own boats. I'm otherwise retired and have managed to get cruising again in my favorite waters, the Bahamas. If you're thinking about cruising, or just want to install some things on your boat and want to do a good job, I encourage you to take a class somewhere. You'll learn a lot and it will help you judge when you can tackle something yourself and when it's going to make sense to hire it out. And you might make some great friends among your classmates. I have met some amazing women through teaching.